So I just measure that out on my cutting mat. I have a mat like a quilters would use, and wreath makers and other crafters. And then cut 8 pieces at about 21, 22 inches long. This is really workable stuff. For the love of all that's holy in mesh, do not buy your mesh at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. That's my personal opinion. It's crummy for the most part. Sometimes it is even stinky. I've gotten some real smelly mesh at both places when they have it, especially at Christmas. I buy my mesh through either the folks at Wreaths of Joy, and they are great at shipping turnaround time, and they have great prices, and they have great products. They're always ahead of the game. Who else? 5th Street with her, I buy my ribbons and mesh there. And sometimes if it's a specific kind of mesh, I have to kind of go off grid with that and look on Etsy. But hey, that's what Etsy's for, because I'm on Etsy. So, all right. So I've got one of the forms already fixed up with the chenille stems, i.e. pipe cleaners. And I've already got some of our mesh ready to roll. So there's a couple ways you can do putting this together. You can do something that's called a fold over method, which I really like, and that I am going to do with this. There's also one that's a ruffle or a cruffle. The woodland cruffle is you kind of let the mesh roll in on itself, and then you scrunch it all up. I'm not a fan of that right now. I'm a fan of the fold over method. So I'm going to flip you down and pray to the live pixies and fairies that we continue to be on. Okay, so fold over method is, you know, the name is what it is. So what I do is I go and fold this over on itself. So I'm like halfway, and I just put my finger in there. Okay, so that's kind of the halfway point. So I take this side and I put it over here, and I overlap it beyond where my finger was. And then I take this side and I overlap it. So I've got kind of like an envelope thing going on here. Then I take it and I flip it over so those edges that were cut are underneath. And we've got the finished edges here. And then this is, we're going to use that. So then I just weight down the other end, and then I just scrunch it up with my fingers and scrunch it up. So I've essentially got like a butterfly look going on. And then I just kind of tidy it up a bit. Try and get them to look like they're even-ish. Okay, then I take this and our form, and I stick one down, and I turn it, so there's the cut edge right there. I turn it over and make sure that's face down. So then just pull your pipe cleaners around and give it one twist. Okay, and what we're going to do is go every other one for the bottom row, and then every other one to finish it out. And don't worry about fussing like this. We don't need to do that, because because lots of other stuff is going to happen. So let's pull that. All right, so same thing. Have it all spread out. Find the halfway part approximately, and then bring that side over so it overlaps about 3/4, half to 3/4 of an inch. Fold that one over, flip it over, and then we'll just put our hand cream there. And scrunch, 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 scrunch. And this is a really easy wreath method to do. So then we're going to skip one and then stick this one in here. So why is it called a pancake wreath? It's called a pancake wreath because it actually ends up being a very slim wreath. Rather than those really big mesh ones that you can see at craft shows or from other wreath makers. And I make those too. But I live in the northern-ish Great Lakes. And so we have a lot of weather that requires that we have a storm door. So we have our exterior door and a storm door. This typically fits right in between that, so you can have a nice wreath on your door, and it's on the inside of your storm door, and it's not going to get birds in it. Birds love mesh wreaths. Birds love wreaths in general. It's also not going to be exposed to wind and rain and snow and ice and all those other things that our winter, spring, and fall bring to our doors. So, Christy, do you have snow on the ground? Or was that an older picture of you and one of the puppies? Christy's out. She's an Okie. She's a sweet Okie. She sells my skincare wash that I like to use. Makes my face feel amazing. And if you would be interested in shopping with her, we belong to the same business group for people who have small businesses. And most of us are women, but there are a few men in the group. So we try to promote each other. But she is Posh with Christy, and she sells this stuff that is just amazing. It's the facial stuff is called exactly egg, as in eggs. Yeah, I love it. Alrighty, so we've got the first 4 down, and this is looking pretty cool. So now we're going to go and do the other 4. So I pulled these up so I can find them. And these are all going to lay on top of these. And then that's what's going to give it its oomph as a mesh wreath. So I learned how to do this method by watching Zach. I was a wreath snob and when I first started making wreaths again, and was only going to make grapevine wreaths. But then I saw him do this method, and I saw Tammy from Polka Dot Wreath Co. do the cruffle method, or the woodland ruffle method. I was like, I can do that. So I started making these. All right, so same thing. We're going to turn that over on the top. We're just going to push it down and bring the pipe cleaner up and just really give it a single twist. And like I said, we'll pretty these up before we get to ribbons and signs and all the other accoutrements of a wreath. My day job is working in state government, in communications and outreach. How ironic, communications, and couldn't communicate with you this morning. Oh well. My background is communications and commercial art and design. I love designing. Lord, do I love using Canva. I never learned how to use Adobe Illustrator. I can't wrap my head around it. But I use InDesign, and I use Photoshop. I know enough about Photoshop to be dangerous to a project. Let's put it that way. I can do a few cool things, but I just discovered Adobe Firefly the other day. I'm going to have fun with that. I'm going to start making some cards and add those to the Etsy shop. So scrunch, 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 scrunch. It's nice when these things have a band going down the center. Can act as your little road map. All right. Whoop, 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 whoop. Well, for all the problems I've had today getting on with you, things rather than a quilting, a rotary cutter, because of course I couldn't find my rotary cutter this morning. When I was going to go live, but I found it afterwards, so we'll just finish this one out and then we'll talk about ribbon. In wreath work, we use wired ribbon. That stands up and holds its shape if you're making a bow or doing other things with the ribbon on the wreath project or any project you're using that. Alrighty, last one. This looks like a black and tan. That blends in nicely. And that blends in nicely too. So we're going to make the Dachshund wreath. But we're going to add some ribbon first. So let me show you the ribbon I have for us. So I've got 3 different ribbons. I was going for that, matching that color. So we've got the polka dot, we've got the check, and then we've got the puppy bones and paws. I love this. I love this. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is the polka dot and this on the bottom, and then the polka dot and this on the top, and go that route. So this is wired ribbon, and see what I mean by it holds its shape. So this is cut, I think, about 10 inches, 10 and a half, fat 10 inches. So what I'm going to do is take one. So, sorry for that blip. So, going to take one of these. This is a 2-inch ribbon, and this is 1.5 inch. So, I'm going to put these together, and then I'm just going to fold them in half to find that halfway mark. And then I'm going to scrunch this just like we did with the mesh. So just, there's where we folded it. So just pull it together like that, okay? And then turn it over and just put your thumb in there to pop it out like that. Okay, so we're gonna come in underneath where we were at. Gonna come under here and take this and just put it right on top of that stem and give it a couple of twists. Okay, so we're doing this on the bottom, but we're going to end up being able to see it. So let's do the other 3, and then we'll do the top row, the top 4 with the, so put them together and give it a fold, and then just scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. You know, this is actually a project level that's really beginner. It's perfect for adults. It's perfect for kids, maybe, you know, 10 and up, perhaps even a precocious 8-year-old, which, by the way, I know one, and share DNA with one. She likes to help scrunch ribbon when she's around and I'm making a wreath. She loves crafting. She is my granddaughter, the light of my life, along with her little brother. Okay. And I'm going to make another one of these, and I'm going to use that Newfie sign for our making the other one with the Newfie sign. Well, maybe keep people away from our door. We don't live in a very great part of town anymore. Just a lot of crazy stuff goes on at night. I don't know if you can see this, but oh, you can here. So the ribbon has come out a little bit on this one. So all I do is just snip it off. Because if you're going to sell these or give them away as gifts, you don't want to have something like that that's going to poke somebody or scratch a door. So I sell on Etsy, and my Etsy shop's name is Carol, C-A-R-O-L hyphen Alice Wreath Studio. And I have all different kinds of wreaths in my shop for all the different seasons. I also do print on demand. I've got tumblers and shirts and tote bags. So those are there. All right. So we've got all of the bottom row done. You can see the blue peeking out in there, but we're going to fix that in a moment. So now we're going to use the puppy dog with the spotted larger one. So we're doing the same thing. Why are those so much longer? So, yeah, let's do this. So we'll do this. I need to make a wreath for our groomer. She does our Newfie Elmer and our St. Bernard Lily. And Elmer loves her long-haired mini dachshund. Oh, by the way, my sister's, this is when she has her at the shop and we go in for our grooming, he just lays down on the floor and lets her just climb all over him, really. Got another wire. It's funny watching her do that. Actually, since we got the puppy, he doesn't like the puppy yet. He's too small for him to enjoy. He's a little bit intimidated by him, but the puppy is very sassy, I think, as puppies go. He sleeps through the night, which is nice. We're surprised about that. He has learned his sit command. He has also learned how to shake hands. He does, if you ask him when he's sitting down to say howdy do, he holds his paw out. He tends to be a lefty. But yeah, 2 of our dogs will say howdy do, and 2 of them would rather you just gave them a big hug and told them how lovely they are. All right. Oh, I'm liking this so much. Yeah. Liking. All right. It's one more. And we're going to finish these ends off, so we're not going to just leave them a little bit. Ends for Easter. We are just staying home here with the hounds. I will probably do some more crafting, making the other wreath. Maybe I found out I have some tobacco baskets that I completely forgot about, so I can make those. A couple of arrangements in them. All right, so I'm going to start going around on the top row now and kind of making that butterfly poof up a little bit. Okay. So we're just going to go under there, and I need to do this, and it will catch on itself. So if you are concerned, so mesh frays, it doesn't matter what quality of mesh it is, mesh is going to fray. It just does. Unless you cut it a specific way, and that is with like a wood burning tool that you would use to cut or burn into the wood. Those big flower wreaths that people make with all the petals, that's how those are done. Okay, so now we've got our wreath. So now we've got the ribbon on all of the wreath, and so we're going to put dovetails on these, and I probably should have done that before I put them on, but it doesn't really matter. So to make a dovetail, when it's on there already like that, just fold the end of the wreath over like you're making a little taco, and then just take your scissors or shears, whatever you call it, and just make a diagonal cut, and there you got a dovetail. So we're going to do that all the way around. to each one of the ribbons. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do with the sign, because I also have a bow that's made out of the same ribbon here. So we could do a sign with a bow. We'll just have to see what that looks like when I get done doing all these dovetails. Okay. And don't worry about the ribbons right now. We'll get all fancy fluff on them when we get done. So back to who I buy from. I will buy some ribbon during the holidays at the Lobby of Hobby and Michael's. My Michael's ribbon for holidays, Christmas is pretty good. Any other time of year, it's like so pitiful. Just pitiful. Like their Easter ribbon at my Michael's is, why bother? I will buy stuff from the Lobby of Hobby, sparingly. I tend to, believe it or not, look at Walmart. Our Walmart, or one Walmart anyway, we've got two, one on the east side, one on the west side. The one on the east side is, gotta think this through before I make a cut. The one on the east side, whoever is doing their florals, oh, they know what they're doing. They have great stuff, especially if you're looking for big single stems. Like they've got hydrangeas that are bigger than softballs. And they're just so beautiful and great colors as well. They're bush flowers that, that's those floral bushes you can buy anywhere, especially the stuff that they have for Memorial weekend and 4th of July. The red, white, and blue type of flower design most people would use, especially if you have a veteran that you're putting stuff on their spot in the cemetery. Their bush florals are really nice too at Walmart. But I also buy florals from other wreath makers that also sell products. Designs by Dylan Palmer. Dylan is a hoot. Try to catch Dylan on his page, Designs by Dylan. He's Texas through and through. He's just a sweetheart. My granddaughter has a horrible, horrible crush on him. It's always asking, have you talked to Dylan? Dylan tries to make a point of saying hi to everybody as they first are coming on by name. So a lot of us have been fans of his for a while. So when she was here a couple of summers ago, and we would watch some of his wreath design work and tutorials, I would let him know that she was here with me, and he'd always make a point of saying her name, and she just thought that was the cat's meow. Oh my gosh, he knows me. Yep, he knows you. So that's why he's a sweet person. Oh, he gets some really great stuff. Ellis Home and Garden. I buy florals and some greenery from them. I really like their cedar stems for Christmas or for anything for winter. And they usually have a decent sale. We should say the lower level warehouse. Ouch. I just stock up on things that I use all the time, and that I can multi-purpose. Like I did a funeral spray for a classmate's mother when she passed, 2 years ago, I think. Doesn't seem like it was last year. And that was with roses, pink, hot pink, baby pink, and red roses. And I used a lot of that cedar underneath for greenery. I just like it a lot. I would like to do more funerary work. I'm just not sure how to go about doing that. I had time with doing my classmates, because they were going to do her memorial service a little bit beyond when she passed, so I had opportunity to order a significant number of florals from one of the wholesalers that I have an account with, sole proprietor or whatever. All right, so let's just kind of pop these ribbons so they stick out underneath and up here on top. And no, we can do this. So we can stick these down and have this easier to be seen. Let's do that. And then we can do this and then have these on top. That's what we'll do. Okay, that'll make things easier. Yes, my light went out. Where is my light? Oh, my light died. It's like, I feel like Rosanna, Dana. It's always something. It's always something. Okay, let's get this underneath. Down here. And let's get these out. And this one. So yeah, we'll be watching a lot of basketball because I am a huge college basketball and college football fan. And unfortunately, my team lost last night. So we are out of the hunt for the title. So I am throwing my support behind the Tennessee Volunteers. So go Vols, kick some butt and take some names, especially if you have to play UConn. And then for football season, I am a huge Notre Dame fan. Mrs. Crafty, my sister, is a Michigan State Spartans fan, so I'll give her a go Sparty here and again. All right, so we've got the wreath base done. we're going to take care of these on here. Or we can put the sign a little off center like that and add a bow. That kind of looks cute. I think we'll do that. Why don't we do that? So let's take care of the stems. So you can do a couple of things. You can either trim them down and then tuck what's left in, or you can just, you know, fold them over and put them down there. I'm just going to fold them over and put them down. Or maybe not. Let's see. That'll work. Let's go round and round and do that. So yeah, my husband wasn't a huge sports fan when we got married. Even when we first met, he didn't really know much about sports because he didn't play sports when he was growing up. He had a problem with his hips when he was a boy, so he was on crutches. That's kind of why he didn't really have any interest in that. He's mechanical kind of person. He's very good with fixing things. He's always had a job in repair, machine repair, that kind of stuff. He's good with the cars. Fortunately, there's a lot of things he can do that we don't have to go to the dealership for, which saves a few bucks. But the kids and I have taught him over the years how to appreciate sports. He now really looks forward to college football season. And he's quite the Notre Dame fan now. My work husband is a flea market dump diver. Likes to go to craft flea markets and garage sales and stuff like that on the weekends. And he got me a stained glass Notre Dame sign. It's a little leprechaun in his fist position, and it's just really, really cool. I need to find a place to put it. I'm thinking now about hanging. It'd be nice to see that reflection on the floor. But so yes, I have a work spouse. He's so funny. He just became a grandfather himself. A year ago now. And he's such a happy pappy grandpa. Buys that little boy so much stuff, like a lot of grandpas do. Like our grandson and our granddaughter, we get them a lot of things, especially when they were little. Always outfits and toys, and our grandson has lots of trucks and toys for the tub and toys for being in the dirt outside. He's very much like his dad and his sister. She likes to dig in the dirt and look for bugs. I've made sure she's not afraid of bugs. So we picked up bugs and handled bugs, and we've looked at caterpillars and all kinds of things. So she's very interested in that. So maybe she might go into entomology. And she's told me a couple times she wants to be a nurse. I could actually see that with her. She's very compassionate. I have problems with getting back spasms a lot. She likes to try and take care of me. Okay, we've got this all taken care of now. So here's our sign. So let's put the sign off center. So how are we going to put the sign on? So I've gone ahead and I've put on these mounting squares. They have a sticky back, but I don't trust the sticky back. So I also put a dab of Gorilla Glue on there. So these puppies aren't going anywhere. And I got the sign from my new sign person, Personalize It by Pam. She's on Etsy and she's on Facebook. And her Facebook is Personalized by Pam. And her Etsy is Personalized by Pam. So if you're looking for things like signs, I mean, you could take this and add a smaller bow to it, but you know, you could add a bow on it. It would be easy to put a hole punch in it and hang it on your door just as a sign. But I love the stained glass kind of effect that she is using. She's got all different kinds of breeds. So I'm going to try and do our other dogs. I'm going to get a Saint. I love beagles. My husband doesn't care for how loud they get. So anyway, we've got these square mounting squares. So what I'm going to do is grab a couple, 3, and with these, I also bend them in half. And these have holes in them, so you can thread these through there like that. So I do that, and then I just give it a couple of twists. I mean, they're not going anywhere because of the Gorilla Glue or Super Glue. When you use that kind of stuff, if you're messy like me, keep a bottle of nail polish remover around so you can get it off. But I hate the way that my fingertips feel when I have to do that. Just ooky. Don't like it. Let's see. Going that way, so we need this one. So let's do that one. Okay. So again, these are called mounting squares. You can get them at any craft store. You can get them at even probably, I think we got these at Menards, I want to say. Yeah, put the sign on here so it stays on, and then we'll add the bow and we'll call it a beautiful sign. So what I'm going to first do is try and find which one I want for the top. Usually I choose one of them that, let's see, go do that. Okay, so this is going to be the top and this is going to be the bottom of the wreath. So we're going to put this on here and we're going to get underneath. And so we're working on the back of this. So just we're going to pull that through, and the other one is just going to stay there on the top. And so I'm just going to take this and give it a twist just to hold it in place so I can do the other ones, and then we'll make sure we're shoring everything up properly. So pulled it through right here, and this is the other one is on the top, so we've just given this a twist. So then we're going to come down here and do the same thing on the bottom. We're going to come underneath. And sometimes trying to get under here is a hassle, but you will be rewarded with a beautiful sign on your beautiful wreath. Okay, so we got that there. All right, so we've got this coming out here, and we're going to come in underneath this. Underneath there, and underneath there. So we got both of those now. I'm going to just give that a twist to hold it in place. And now we're going to do the other side right here. And we can go right down where the bow is. That's always perfect. Love that happening. Let's see. Okay. Then we're going to take that and push that out in there. Grab hold of it. There we go. Yeah, that's nice. We can get that snugged in right there. So the chenille stems look like little fuzz balls from the puppies. Okay, and let's fix this. So when you use a sign, you know, often it's covering up some of the mesh, which is fine. Okay. And so we've got to get that under there. So we've got all this, and let's fix our bows, or our tails. These are ribbon tails, that's what they're called. Just like ribbon tails that hang off a bow. Those are tails as well. Maybe one day soon we'll just been making some big giant bows. Some people don't want a wreath. But if you want to have something fun to hang in on your door, or, you know, on somebody's bedroom door if they're having a birthday, or at work, and hang it on somebody's cube at work when they're having a birthday, that would be great. Okay, so here is what we've got going on. We're almost done. So let's wrestle with this bow. So I make my bows on a thing called the Easy Bow Maker. I've tried to make bows by hand, but because of carpal tunnel and all that. I can't. My hands can't take it, so I use that for my my bow making act. So we've got the same ribbon, and I've got 2 loops of the polka dot, and I've got 1 loop of the blue and gingham, and then 1 loop of the puppy dog for our bow. And I've used matching chenille stems just because, truthfully, it was fluke. Usually I just grab stems and I'm not too terribly worried about what's on the bow because it gets hidden. So let's get this down in here. And let's, where is it? Let's see where we got. Here we go. There it is. Pull this out here like this. And get this up here. And get this situated. Before we tie it up, we want to see what it's going to look like and where it's sitting. See what we've got. I think I like that there. I can't see whether you're on or not, Mrs. Crafty, so I hope. Oh, you are on. Oh, wow. Hey, Jen, how are you? I haven't been able to see any of you, but now I can. Oh, thank you, Jen. I like. Yeah, I got the ribbon at 5th Street Studio on Etsy. She has tons of great ribbons. You and Aunt Ruby would like that shop, so go 5th Street Studio on Etsy. Make sure it's a ribbon shop because I think there's another 5th Street something, and sometimes they get confused about trying to order from her. The other one, and the other one doesn't sell ribbon. I don't know. I don't remember what they do sell, but so we'll just make our bows here. So the reason why we use wired ribbon is because ribbon that doesn't have a wire in it doesn't hold shape. So you see how stiff these bows, these loops are. And that's because of the wire in the ribbon. It's also because of the type of fabric the ribbon is made out of. I like to use a ribbon that's made out of linen or something substantial. I don't like satin ribbon. It just is too limp for my liking. I don't care for that Dupani-like ribbon either, but if that's your cup of tea, then it's your cup of tea. Use what you like. Make what you want for yourself and for your friends and family. Can always come and join me every Saturday. So I think we've got a Dachshund wreath done. What do you think, Mrs. Crafty? Yep, this is for my sister. It was supposed to be for her birthday back in October, so it's only about 6 months late, but so I think you need a wreath like for your Miss Spice. Or your cat. I should see if she has cat signs too. Because a calico kitty would be amazing. But, so here's here's our finished wreath. So I will do some more tweaking with the ribbon and get everything all fine and dandy like. And then I'll make arrangements to get that over to my sister's house. We need to take the puppy over so he can wrestle with her Doxy. She will give him a run for his money. He's typical loud puppy. He's sassy, very sassy. But he's pretty, he's handsome. He's not a yellow lab. He's more of a very light cream colored yellow lab. His mother is a beautiful creamy lab. But we've ever had. He was very sensitive. He ended up having seizures most of his life, so he was on medication for that. But a year ago we had to say goodbye to him, and we all miss him very much, because even though he was one of the sweetest dogs we've ever had, he had a ferocious sounding bark. And so if somebody would come to the door or he would hear, he'd bark in response to it. And he had a much deeper, grittier bark than any of our St. Bernards or our current Newfie had ever had. So that's, and Emmett, who's the new lab in the house, Emmett's already got a ferocious bark going because he thinks he's a badass. Oh, I forgot to add a disclaimer. If I hurt myself during my lives, I sometimes tend to cuss. So fortunately, we didn't cuss today much, other than the fact that, yeah, the live didn't happen when I wanted it. So there's our wreath for this week, and I'm not sure what we're going to do next week. I'm kind of thinking one of the tobacco baskets. Let's do a tobacco basket next week. I've got some really, really beautiful blue, powdery blue ranunculus. It might be peonies, but I don't think peonies are blue, but some ranunculus. And I think I got them at from Dylan on a live sale. He does live sales he was doing them on Thursday. Have to check. But yeah, so we'll do a tobacco basket. And, I'll bring those blue flowers up. Maybe we'll just do something with the farmhouse style, and we'll use some of this with the gingham on it in the wreath. Maybe we'll just make a whole bow out of just this size, and a flowy cascading bow with the tobacco basket, but we'll see. So I got the sign from where's my other sign? It's called Personalized by Pam. She's on Etsy and Facebook as Personalized by Pam. So if you look for that, then you'll find her shop. And if you can't find her, let me know and I'll just send you a link. Okay? So thank you for hanging out and being supportive of what I'm doing here and trying to make a go of a small craft business.